kiri, iṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún wa láti ṣe. Ọmọ rere kì í ṣaṣẹ́, ọmọ ogun kì í ṣọ̀lẹ. Ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run bẹ fún wa, ẹ tẹra mọ́ṣẹ́ o. Iṣẹ́ yá ọmọ ogun, iṣẹ́ yá.
Please take your seat.
Aides of the governor, members of my delegation, distinguished colleagues, friends, gentlemen of the press, Your Excellency, it gives me great pleasure to be here leading this delegation on the courtesy call to your office. Deliberately, I came with the zonal coordinator of zone in Zone A, which covers the entire southwest, and I came with the major controllers, the port controllers, the airport controllers, and all of them. This is very deliberate because Ogun is an essential part of our operations in the southwest. And about 3 years ago, management of the Nigerian Customs Service decided that the space where we were operating our Federal Operations Unit, which is a major anti-smuggling component of the unit, and our zonal office, which is the administrative headquarters, was getting too small for the size of our operations. If you want to put it in perspectives, between 75 and 80% of the revenue and the core operations that we do is conducted in the zone. And we now felt that we needed a more conducive, a more expansive area that would match the volume of operations that we did. And an approach was made to His Excellency the Governor, and I'm happy to announce that we got all we needed for us to relocate our zonal office and the Federal Operations Unit from where they are choked in Lagos to a more convenient place in Ogun State. I therefore, on behalf of my delegation and the board of the Nigerian Customs Service, once again wish to express our sincere gratitude for the gesture that you have given us by providing us this environment where we can better express the implementation of the mandates that we have.
The Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Menta, the Secretaries to the State Government and all other members of the Ogun State Executive Council and team that are here today, please join me in warmly receiving the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs, who is here today to pay us a courtesy call. He's none other than CG Adewale Bashir Adeni MFR, who is supported today by quite a few of his Assistant Controller Generals. We have ACG Seidu Yusuf, we have the Custom Area Controller, AOB Alade, we have the Customs Area Controller Papa, Babatunde Olumbu, we have the Custom Controller Tinkan, Tony Nwadi, Nadi. We have Controller Tony Danyawu, we have Controller Kola Oladeji, and we have the man who struggled to sing the Ogun State Anthem, who we are going to detain in Abiodun today until to welcome the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, CG Adewale Bashir Adeni MFR. I welcome you to the capital of the Gateway State on behalf of the entire people and government of the state. It's indeed very heartwarming that you made our time to come here at a very short notice following our conversation last week. You know, my experience and my relationship with you have been such that I've found you an extremely intellectual, articulate, forward-looking, proactive, and intelligent, officer and a gentleman. It's been a very refreshing experience. Because there's this tendency that, we tend to characterize, law enforcement heads, and particularly men of Nigerian customs, in a very different, we see them in a very different light, but you have definitely changed that narrative. My prayer is that the Almighty God has given you the grace to rise to this very distinguished position, will give you the grace to make the best of this opportunity. I know that Ogun State is one that you're very familiar with because you are from a neighboring state, one of the states that we border. I know you are from Budakeke in Osun State. So Ogun State should not need any introduction. But for those who are not from Ogun State, I will take the liberty to just give you an overview of who we are. We are called the Gateway State because one, we are the only state that Lagos has as a neighbor, except for the Atlantic Ocean. We are a border state to Oyo State, to the CG State, Osun State, and to Ondo State. And of course, we're a border to Benin Republic, which gives us that window to the West African sub-region. We are about 16,000 square kilometers in size. We are the industrial capital of Nigeria. We have more industries here than any other state in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, the last count, we're inching towards having about 6,000 industries alone in this state. We are the education capital of Nigeria, meaning that we have more tertiary institutions, more secondary schools than any other state in Nigeria. It means we have a very youthful population. We also are a Nigerian state because about 80% of our state land size is arable. We are the #1 grower of cassava in this country and probably in the entire world. We are the #1 producer of poultry and eggs, of course, in Nigeria. We are the #1 producer of rice in the southwest. We are the #1 in non-oil revenue in Nigeria because our state is blessed with an abundance of mineral resources. About 2/3 of our state sits on limestone. Because of that, we are #1 in cement production, among so many other natural resources that we have. We also have gas reticulation, that is natural gas reticulation pipelines that crisscross our state. The 2 major pipelines in Nigeria are crisscross our state. This and the fact that we are the closest to the busiest seaport and the airport, the fact that we have that land size have made us, the industrial preferred choice for many investors. And this brings us to why we have a very serious presence of Nigerian customs here, because that is your major responsibility to ensure that goods are coming to Nigeria, the appropriate taxes and levies are paid, goods are being exported to also ensure that the right revenues are derived from them. Let me first thank the CG and thank also the controllers in Ogun State for all the work they've been doing in Ogun State. I want to thank them particularly for the collaboration and cooperation with other members of our law enforcement architecture. I want to thank the Nigerian Customs again, because if I don't do so, I will be an ingrate. I recall that when I was striving and working hard to become the governor of the state in 2019, part of the strategy of my opponents was to bring people in across the border. And the CG of Customs then probably rose that occasion and ensured that nobody crossed the border. And this contributed very likely to the success of my elections in 2019. So again, I want to thank the men. I want to appreciate particularly your predecessor, Colonel Abiodun, for his forward thinking and his proactiveness as well. I recall that I sat with him and he went through the constraints of Nigerian customs as you presented in your remarks, and the fact and the need to begin to look for how to expand and better ventilate. And I did not waste time in offering Ogun State as the preferred choice destination for that expansion. And the reasons for that were not very far-fetched. I was able to convince your predecessor, CG Akonelade, that we were on the verge of beginning to construct the first truly international cargo airport in Nigeria, and that cargo airport will be situated in the first special agro processing zone in Nigeria. And that location that we have chosen would be what Abuja is to the rest of the country. It will be like the center point of Ogun State, and from that location will be bound by Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on one part and Shagamu-Benin Expressway on another part. So it guarantees access from Lagos to that location, probably be an hour, and from that location we can export to the rest of the internal. And the fact that we're also about to build, commence the construction of our Olukola seaport, Ogun State dry port, and the fact that we are well aware that the Ashwaji administration would revisit the issue of the Olukola natural gas project. And all these reasons and more, and of course the fact that we remain in a very busy border with Benin Republic, the business case that I laid before Colonel Abiodun retired, that Ogun State should be the strategic choice for these new federal operations, training, zonal headquarters, of course what we call the customs village. And I must say that it didn't take him 15 minutes to appreciate my representation and immediately keyed into it. We made, in fact, Nigerian customs were the first allottee of land in a special processing zone. The first. And that's going to be part of history. What I have experienced is something that is clearly unprecedented. When you allocate land to a government agency, most times, at best, maybe they fence part of that land and then everything goes cold. You have to continue to chase them. When are you going to develop it? What is happening? And if and when you do, you will most likely not be impressed with the quality of infrastructure and buildings that they would erect there. But because I do not want to let the cat out of the bag, let me just say that the experience that I have seen with Nigerian customs is totally unbelievable. But I will leave that judgment to myself and the CG and the rest of you when we get to the customs village this afternoon. But I just want to suffice to say, commend you for your leadership. Commend the men and women of Nigerian customs for what you're doing. You account for one of the biggest chunk of revenue to this nation, that which we particularly need at this time. I pray that you continue to sustain the momentum that you started with. Before I round up, I also want to thank you for what you remarked when you spoke about the collaboration that I enjoyed with you when Mr. President decided that he was going to intervene in this food inflation. You are truly a patriot. Most Nigerians will not know what it took to ensure that food items were brought in the country and the effective and efficient distribution of the same. I want to thank you for facilitating that, and we must sustain that momentum. The market men and women of Ogun State have asked me to again plead with your controllers here. In the recent past, the experience that we had has improved from what it has been in the far past. I want to admonish that your men carry out their responsibilities, but they should do so in a more civil manner, particularly knowing that besides the fact that, of course, we're neighbors with Benin Republic, and we have the longest border with Benin Republic. I'm not unaware that we have a lot of unscrupulous elements that want to take advantage of that border. However, by and large, our people are generally very law abiding, and they just want to go about the enterprises, in terms of buying and selling. And when at times your men go into markets, break stalls, seize their rice, seize their goods, and at times in the course of that, it gets violent, and shots are fired, and stray bullets, hit innocent people. At times it gets very, very sour. In fact, this morning, I don't know how they got wind of the fact that you were coming. The market women were poised to come here to come and protest that your men had invaded their markets, and they had attempted to seize their goods. So I want to please admonish and plead with you that let us find ways and means to engage these people in a more civil manner, because it is with this collaboration and cooperation that we can all achieve and ensure that we see the Ogun State and the Nigeria of our dreams. Again, I want to thank you for taking time to come. I look forward to the visit to the Custom Village this afternoon. And again, I wish you thank you.
The city gate and the interchange, the city when you drove in. What we are doing is that place was a trailer park and a den of unscrupulous elements. We cleaned it up, we turned it into a park. And particularly because it is a confluence of roads coming from the west side of the state, which was from the Europe, Ogun Central to Ogun Capital, and Ogun East to coming from the Jet. I hope that you can find somewhere in all this to bring this and the manner of this. This is our direct, and you rightly remarked that there seems to be a quiet revolution, quote unquote. The truth is that the revolution is not quiet, it's a very aggressive one. Adewale is another name for tie and dye design that is a part of the Ogun State tradition, a part of our culture. This is made right here in Abiodun, and it has been passed down from generation to generation. When we are doing this, the industry will die because the Chinese have come here, copied the designs. They will go to China, print it to like an Ankara, they will make it back, and they want to sell it. This small scale enterprise for Adewale traders. So what we did was we decided that we would patronize them as a state government. So I declared that every one of us must wear Adewale one name, and there are 70,000 of us. You can imagine that those 70,000 people will not buy just one Adewale, will buy at least 2 people. They will be wearing something every week. So we all received that market. Suffice to say that industry has not been the same since then. It's boosted them. And that ecosystem comprises of people selling the fabric, the dye, doesn't tie and dye, and of course the tailors. That's why we see. So all of us chose Fridays as the day we all wear it. I wear it many times a day anyway. We have a lot of address for you to take home. We hope that you will join us on Friday. We're going to your best. And all your ACGs also as well. We wear address on Fridays.
Thank you, sir.
It's provided jobs for so many now.
Yeah.
It's become an export. Again, we proudly present you Adewale.
Thank you very much.
We sure hope you enjoyed this video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel Goldmyne TV and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.